See when the Hatsui wasn't there yet.
Hello and welcome to Your Dad Learns StarCraft 2 Ladder. This episode's against a platinum random player by the name of Tamir? What ends up being T for Terran. It's definitely what it ends up being. So, in the lower right hand corner, playing Terran, we have the opponent of the hour, Tamir. And in the upper left hand corner, we have your hero, your champion, your dad, playing Zerg the way that he does. So let's look at what I'm doing right now. And the beginning of this game, let's get the production tab open. So they're making SCVs, I'm making drones, Overlord Supply Depot, basically the same type of thing we're doing. And we can speed up because me and the opponent are just making drones, making SCVs. They're starting to make their barracks. I've got my spawning pool coming out. They've got a refinery. I do not have my Vespene Geyser yet. I also didn't have my hatchery. So I'm a little bit off of my game for some reason. I was going out of order. I must have just forgotten. Which can happen. It's the fourth game and just wasn't really in a really good suit yet. Very good routine, that's what it is. Really good routine. So they've got an SCV that's just been chilling, looking at my base. I'm morphing Zerglings, and now they just go and kill the SCV. So that's their scouting. They see that I don't have any gas yet. I just started making it, but they didn't see that. They didn't see me start making Roach Warren. They really didn't get too much info off of that. I'm not even sure if they saw that I had a expansion. They didn't even see that I made an expansion. So there's the Reaper. They didn't micro that Reaper at all, so I just sort of half surrounded and killed it. So far so good. They now know that I have an expansion because they just scanned it. Have a queen at each one. I'm injecting, I'm making things, making a lair, making a couple overlords. I'm still going to go for the making Hydras plan, I believe. And make a couple spine crawlers to help protect my entrance. Because, stack defense, you don't necessarily have to have it. But one thing it does is defend things without you having to mess with it. So, it's just very helpful for someone that doesn't have maybe the strongest micro skills. So, right now, 4.5 minutes in, I'm making some roaches, making my Hydralisk den, droning up. They are making some upgrades now, making some Medivacs. Which, if you don't know what Medivacs do, those can load units into them and then come and attack. They can drop those units out so they can fly around the corners of your base and drop units there and attack your mineral lines if you don't have them defended. I'm making some more geysers because I'm going to go well, the plan is to go an upgrade-heavy, gas-heavy kind of composition, so I'm trying to get 4 geysers going. It's a little late to get those 4 going. I'm making an infestation pit, so I can make my hive, so I can make level tier 3 upgrades. Good thing to note, I haven't made evolution chambers yet. I can't start upgrading my things yet. I was supply blocked, so I just made 10 overlords, because I overcompensate like that. And here comes their attack. They did a multi-prong attack with 2 Medivac drops, which split my units, so I killed the one side, realized the guys were being attacked on the other side, ran my stuff over there, and now I'm getting rid of that. And I'm just realizing, oh yeah, I'm against Terran, maybe I should build a Spore Crawler. Maybe stop them from just jumping into my mineral line and destroying my stuff. So during this I made my evolution chambers, but I'm not upgrading anything. I have some larvae that I'm not using. And my opponent is building stuff, upgrading things. I'm finally starting my upgrades. But my opponent has 1/1 upgrades and stim packs. I have some speed upgrades, which are good. Like, they're definitely ones you want to get. And I'm getting range upgrades for my Hydralisks. And making a hive, but I haven't expanded or anything yet. It's 8 minutes into the game, and I'm still on 2 base. I don't have a macro hatch. So I'm not getting extra larvae from a third base inside here. I'm not getting extra larvae from a third base outside my base, or extra minerals from anything over there. So I'm going to attack. I just actually attacked their one base, and they've got a third base up, and it's just becoming a planetary right now. So it's going to start shooting my Zerglings and killing them. They've got an army coming out. They're also attacking the front of my base. So I'm having trouble. I'm trying to build enough units to keep up. I don't really have enough bases to keep up with the amount of units. And I have 6 larvae right now that I need to use. I'm not keeping up with building things for my larvae anyway. I'm making enough military units. So right now I'm having macro issues. I'm having trouble just making units, keeping my economy going, and staying on top of everything. I've got Zerglings at lots of the other bases on the other side of the map to see if he's expanded there. But Tamir hasn't. Tamir has the 3 bases. They've out-expanded me. They've actually got more supply than me. So they've got a bigger army, they've got more workers. They're ahead of me on all fronts. And they've run into my base. They're attacking. And I'm going to defend this with some Ravagers, some Hydras. And there's a mine. Got Overseers to try to see mines or stealth units. But right now, I'm working on my level 2 upgrades. They have their level 2 upgrades. And they've got a stronger economy than me. They've got more bases. I'm not hopelessly lost, because I've got a large bank. But I'm way behind on unit production. Especially for a Zerg. I'm still behind in supply on them, and I should be ahead on supply because I'm a Zerg. I can mass units. I've got 2 bases, I've got injects. I should be making more units than they can deal with. Right now I'm making 24 Zerglings, which wouldn't be bad if I had a Baneling nest and was making them into Banelings. But, quick secret, at this point, I'm not comfortable with Banelings. I haven't really used the unit much. I don't have great control over them. So I just haven't really started using them yet. Here, I'm breaking the rock so they only have one side to attack me from. And I'm actually going to walk into their army around the corner on accident. And I'm trying to protect this base, because if I lose this base, I've basically run out of economy. But I have a very small army, barely have anything, and they just walk over it. And they've still got over 30 units. They're marching towards my base. I've got 2 spines and a Ravager and some queens. So this game's pretty much over. They're gonna just walk over me right now. And the main thing that I do wrong here, although we both wound up on 2-2, I built in a weird order. I mean, I was making a hive before I had Evo chambers. Making a fast layer makes sense since I want Hydras, but the hive doesn't make any sense. I didn't need to build it at that point. I could have been building, instead of upgrading to a hive, I could have been building another hatchery, could have been building different units, could have been making upgrades. And I had a bunch of macro, I guess not even macro issues, just macro things that I was ignoring. I should have been trying to expand. I should have defended against drops. I honestly just wasn't ready for this attack. Wasn't really used to. It's my 4th game. Wasn't used to playing against people. Especially wasn't used to playing against Terrans. And you see the Terran now has a 4th base that they're starting to load up. So they macroed better than me. They got a stronger economy than me. They made units more efficiently than me. Made upgrades more efficiently than me. And they just stayed on top of their game. Another important thing is they made mostly Marines and Marauders. They had 1 run by of Hellions, which died. And now they have a tank. It's the 1 tank they have. Before that, I'd yet to see any tanks. So they had mostly Marines and Marauders. This was an incredibly easy army to be able to defeat. All I had to do was actually make, well, besides producing on time, that type of stuff, I could have made Banelings. Like, when I made that mass 24 Zerglings, if 10 of them or 12 of them are Banelings, I throw the Zerglings in and then have the Hydras and Banelings running in. If the Banelings start connecting, they lose so many Marines so fast. Banelings do, in case you're not aware, they morph out of Zerglings. So you get a Zergling, then you can evolve it. It makes its little cocoon. It erupts into a little acid monster, I guess. And it runs around, rolls around, and when it attacks an enemy, it just kind of kamikazes, rolls into them, and blows up, dealing a good fair chunk of damage just in an area to every enemy unit that's there. They don't do friendly fire, like Ravager, Corrosive Bile will do. You can actually kill your own units with your Corrosive Biles, but Banelings will not kill your own units. So I could have rolled a handful of them into this army, and it just starts annihilating it, and makes it so easy for the Zerglings and the Hydralisks to finish it off. But at this point, I wasn't really comfortable with Banelings, hadn't used them much, and it's one of the games where one of the things I can learn from a loss, because you can learn a lot of things from losses, besides just that, I should have made maybe a macro hatchery or a third expansion. I should have tried to expand quicker, got larva production going faster, should have defended against drops. I also should have reacted to my opponent's unit composition. All I'd mainly seen are Marines and Marauders. Marauders do extra damage to armored units like Roaches, which I didn't really have Roaches. But Marauders also have a fair bit of health, but Marines don't. A couple Banelings, especially if they had to upgrade, will just start destroying Marines. So that's another thing I should have learned, and I should know as a Zerg. I should be able to react to my opponent, because if I see them marching across, I also didn't scout much this game, but I don't scout much yet. When I see them marching across or see their army coming in, if I just have a handful of Banelings, like 10 just standing around on hand, that's more than enough to roll in and just start destroying their units and allow me to get a proper counterattack. And if I'm counterattacking, if I'm on their side of the map, I can be expanding on my side and just have more control over the game. So that's my 4th placement match. It's the first loss of the series. So right now in my placements I'm 3-1. But it gave me a lot of stuff I could learn from, a lot of stuff to think about. And that's not a bad thing. Losses aren't inherently bad. They just help highlight some of the stuff that you could be doing better. So if you enjoyed the video, then I'm glad. Feel free to leave comments, like, dislike. Let me know if you like these topics or any further videos you'd like to see, or any particular topics you'd like to see. And until then, I've been your dad. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.